Hi everybody, my name is EJ Samuel with PAFootballNews.com. I can't believe I'm saying this, I have made a visit back to my alma mater, Dallas, as they are 0-2, taking on 1-1 Abington Heights. I've got a lot of feelings on this game. For both teams, it's a very interesting situation because for Abington, you've got something to prove, and for Dallas, at 0-2, granted there's some, they played some pretty tough teams. At 0-2, you've not really been in that situation in at least since I was a freshman, and I've graduated college already. So that's a little interesting. I got to tell you, though, I'm so optimistic for this game because I know Coach Manello. I remember when he came here, Dallas has tradition. They always have, as has Abington. Dallas and Abington, if you remember back to the early 2010s, they met constantly in the final. So you have to remember these two teams do have a history, and I'm looking to see who will win the next chapter of this matchup. I have all of the game highlights for you. We're going to go to those right now.
And now back on to attempt a 37-yard field goal.
Okay, that's halftime. It's 10-10. In a game that I thought the halftime score was going to be 0-0, things escalated very quickly. I'm walking around my old stomping grounds, and I gotta tell you, the Abington Heights Comets are much better than people realize, and I think that Dallas is about the same. They're 0-2, but don't let that distract you from the fact that all they needed is a little bit of time to warm up, at least in this first half, and they were able to do things. Now, there's some stuff that they got to work on. A couple sloppy passes, a couple times where they missed wide open guys, but you know what? Dallas played decent defense at the end. They did. So as I walked through what we used to call the mosh pit, I got to tell you, the player who surprised me the most was not anybody that you see normally. It was a guy named Rowan Labaugh. Does that name sound familiar? He's had a couple heroic kicks in his day as a Dallas Mountaineer, but not that this one was the biggest, but it was nothing short of fantastic. 47 yards to tie it with 5 seconds left in the half, and that's where we sit at 10. So interesting stuff. I'll get you back to the highlights. The service is just as bad here as when I went to school here, And my phone, well, let's see if it can get through the elements because it's a little cold now. All right, back to the highlights. Well, that'll do it, folks. Boy, what a sloppy game. The final here from Dallas, of course. Abington Heights 30, Dallas 13. I thought there was some interesting stuff. Now, you might be wondering, well, why are you in your car? Well, if you've ever been to a Dallas game, and being that I went to school here, I know very quickly. Get in your car and get ready to leave, because it's like there's so much traffic here, it's not even worth it. So I figured while I wait the traffic out, film my outro. Let me tell you something. Both of these teams, don't let this score fool you, both of these teams have some things they need to work on. Now, what you'll see is Abington scored 2 touchdowns in, let's just call it, garbage time. But they did deserve the win. I gotta tell you, Theodore, what a fantastic receiver he is, and they've used him often. If you have a bad secondary, they're going to torch you. Abington's going to torch you. That's what happened with Dallas today. They had not a bad secondary, they have an injured secondary. They struggled with a lot of stuff like that, and Abington took advantage. Now, Dallas did put 13 points on the board. Shout out Dylan Geske, shout out Brady Zapaticki. Those two are a well-oiled machine. It's like a 1-2 punch, if you will. But unfortunately, when that's all you're doing, that's what's going to happen. And I think that was the story of tonight's game. And it's unfortunate for Dallas. Now 0-3 for the first time since what I believe is 2017-18. I was merely in 8th grade. They went 2-8 that year. This is the first time they've been 0-3 since then, if I remember correctly. And I got to tell you, I didn't even get an interview because Dallas went right off the field afterwards. Abington said, "We got this win. Let's get out of here." There was sloppy football in the first half. They got it together in the second half, and then once the win happened, guess what? We're getting out of here. Like nobody wanted to stick around. It was tough for all of us media people to even get interviews because it was just like we went out. And you know what? Do you blame them? I don't blame them. I mean, if you're Abington, you got a long drive, and if you're Dallas, we're not focusing on the media right now. We're focusing on we're 0-3 right now. And let me tell you something. From Abington's perspective, hey, they're 2-1, folks. Look out, because this might be where they hit that going downhill, and they're just, instead of a bad downhill, they're just catching the speed and going with it. And who knows? It's all of, I feel, this is my philosophy, and it's always about when you get hot, which is good news for Dallas because they may be 0-3, but all they have to do is get hot at the right time, and they could still be back in this thing. But it's a long ways to go. So again, final from Dallas, Abington Heights 30, Dallas 13. We'll talk to you later. I'm at Dunmore next week. Talk to you then. PAFootballnews.com.